All right, Crazy Kids, video number 2 on the Electoral College. By the way, remember I was telling you about when you go vote, you think you're voting for the candidate, but you're really voting for his or her slate of electors. I asked the Yavapai County Recorder to send me a copy of the 2016 ballot, the one that was actually voted on in polling locations and vote by mail. And this is what it looked like. All right, so the first office on the ballot, official ballot, general election November 8th, 2016. The first office was president, but it doesn't say president, it says presidential elector. Here is Trump, Pence, and then here are the electors. And the number of names there should total 11, right? Here's Clinton, with her Vice President Tim Kaine. At the time, back in 2016, there were 4 recognized political parties in Arizona. Johnson and Weld ran for the Libertarians, and Stein and Baraka ran for the Green Party. Green Party is not recognized this year in 2020 as an official Arizona party, which is why on your Ian homework you put down 3 parties instead of 4. All right, so the answer is yes. The names of the electors are put on the ballot. All right, let's go. Okay, so a little bit of a review. Boy, AP, you just have to know this by heart. Everybody has to know this by heart. 2 distortions in the Electoral College that can create results at odds with the national popular vote. 48 out of 50 states award their electoral votes winner take all. You win the state by 1 vote and you get all of the electors, right? And small states have disproportionately high voting power. Okay, we went through this and we were to this. And I asked you guys to fill out a chart that looked like this. State A, State B, Clinton, Trump. Okay, how many people? There were 100,000 people. Everybody could vote, and they all voted Democrat. So how many people voted for Clinton in State A? The answer is 90,000. So if 90,000 voted in State A for Clinton, then 10,000 of them voted for Trump, right? Okay, 110,000. How many of them voted for Trump? 60% of 110 is 66, right? And that means how many? 44 voted for her? 44,000? How many people in, pretending this is just, the United States is just 2 states, right? Pretending this is 2 states, the national popular vote would be 134. 276. This would be what is called a landslide. That would be a landslide election in favor of a Clinton. And who is president? Clinton won State A. They follow the winner-take-all allocation of electoral votes. All 10 go to, mosquito. All 10 go to Clinton. Who won State B? Trump won it. Trump got more votes than Clinton Trump got more votes than Clinton in State B. He wins. Can I get it? Ooh! I got it. Who's president? Trump is president, right? Okay, now look. This is crazy, isn't it? Is it crazy that you can win the popular vote by a significant margin, and you can lose the presidency through the Electoral College? Has it happened before? Well, we know it happened in 2016. We also know it happened in, who remembers? Yes, 2000, between Bush and Gore. It actually has happened 4 times. It's happened 4 times. It happened twice in quick succession in 1876, in 1888, and then everybody forgot about it. And then it happened again in 2000 Bush and 2016 with Trump. I love this cartoon, isn't that great? Thank you for participating. If you look this up, some websites will say it's happened 5 times. That's not exactly true. Andrew Jackson won the popular vote but did not become president back in 1824, but he got less than half the electoral votes. He got less than half the electoral college votes, and as we're going to learn, that means the election goes to the House. And John Quincy Adams was elected by the House. So, not quite the same situation. Okay, this is the motherlode of this. This is the huge reason, the main criticism of the Electoral College. Because of the winner-take-all rule, you can win the Electoral College by losing the popular vote. Now look, let me give you some perspective on this. How many elected positions are there in the United States? I don't know, 30, 40,000? When you count mayors and, board of governors, for school districts, I mean, there's got to be 40, 50,000. In every single one of those elections, we do something very simple. We vote, and we count the votes, and whoever gets the most votes wins, right? That's how we run every single election except the election for President of the United States. This is the only one, there's only one, where you can lose the popular vote and still win the election. Okay, so that's A, right? That was A. This is the mother of all reasons, AP. If you only remember this one, you'll probably be good. But I want to teach you some nuance and subtlety, all right? Okay. I said there were 5 reasons, 5 effects of this winner-take-all. All right, so one was you can win the Electoral College losing the popular vote, or vice versa. Something more subtle. This has happened 4 times. B is more subtle. With the winner-take-all, a candidate can win a majority of the Electoral College vote by winning a plurality of the popular vote. A plurality is less than a majority. A plurality is less than a majority. The most votes, but less than a majority. Is this an issue? You just got elected president of the United States. You walk down the street, you pass 100 people. And out of the 100 people, less than 50 of them voted for you. Less than 50 of them wanted you to be president of the United States. Does that have an impact? All right? Well, this has happened 19 times. 19 times out of the 45 elections for presidents that have happened. If you go back to 1789, and you go once every 4 years, all the way up to 2016, then you have had 57 elections. And there's been 57 elections. And out of those 57 elections, in 19 of them, a president has been elected who did not get a majority of the national popular vote total. All right? Look. Here's the biggest example. Yeah, I know Lincoln was a great president, but look, man, he was elected. He was elected by less than 40% of the United States of America. I mean, did that push us into a civil war? It's a profound question. He wasn't even on the ballot in the southern states. You couldn't vote for him if you wanted to. That's crazy. A more modern example. Look at Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, who was our president for 8 years, never was elected by a majority of Americans. Not in 92, and not in 93. Now, this is one of the 2 main justifications for the Electoral College, all right? The first one is it turns this bias. The first one is this is a good thing. This is the first argument, write these down on the side. Okay, 2 justifications for the Electoral College. These are the main ones. Number 1, it's good that small states have a disproportionate power in electing the president. It protects states' rights. Protects states' rights. This is the other justification that's often given. Look, Look how Clinton, look at his wins in the Electoral College. It looks like he got a huge vote, okay? I'm about to explain something that there are going to be 2 test questions on our test, all right? If you win a election by a whole bunch of votes, then you have won what is called, and I'm not talking about 2 guys going out with each other, I'm talking about the other mandate, all right? You can say, I have won a mandate. The voters have sent a message. Look, the voters overwhelmingly voted for me. I ran on certain policy positions. When I go to Congress and say, Congress, pass laws that implement my policy positions, I can point to the voter mandate. I can say, look, I won this election by 65% of the vote, which would be crazy, right? I won it fair and square. A majority of Americans are in favor of my policies. Congress, you pass laws that implement my policies. You can claim to have a mandate, all right? If Obama ran and he said in 2012, look, tax the rich, and then he gets reelected in 2012, he gets to go to Congress and say what? Hey, Congress, tax the rich. A majority of Americans want us to tax the rich. Everybody got that? All right, so look what happened. You know, because of the Electoral College, it appears that Clinton had a mandate because he had such a big striking win. But he didn't even get half the voting. So to me, it's a little disingenuous, this argument, a little bit disingenuous. President Trump made the same kind of argument, you know. By the way, has it been divisive in our country that President Trump became president when he lost the popular vote by 3 million people? Are there a lot of people that attack his legitimacy as president because of that? Okay, how do you fix it? How do you fix a presidential election? Look, it's got to be winner take all. At the national level, you can only have one winner, right? But at least in other countries, they would do a runoff. If there were more than 3 people and nobody got over half, then they would do a second election with only the top 2. And then somebody gets elected with a majority of the vote. And then they can walk down the street and say, you guys quit complaining. You quit complaining. A majority of you voted for me and my policies, right? You see the difference? We talked about this in the winner-take-all majority versus winner-take-all plurality voting systems, right? Remember that? Okay, so that is C, all right? 19 times in our country, we have had somebody sitting in the White House that was elected by less than half of Americans. All right, now this is a little bit, this is different, okay? By the way, AP, they will test you on this point, all right? A third-party candidate not only never wins, I should have an S there, not only never wins, but just hurts the candidate most like him or her, all right? So a third-party candidate never wins, and just shoots the candidate most like them in the foot. Okay, so here was the 1992 election. All right, we had Clinton, the Democrat, this young saxophone-playing, sunglass-wearing Democrat. We had the very traditional Bush Sr., and then we had a billionaire Texan named Ross Perot. Now, who is this billionaire conservative Texan that says, I'm going to run the business like, the government like a business? Who is he going to pull votes from? Is he going to pull votes from Clinton, or is he going to pull votes from Bush? Yeah, heck yeah, he's going to pull votes from Bush. Look, how did Perot do? He won 0 electoral votes. He did not win a single state, but what the heck, 1 out of 5, 20%, 1 out of 5 Americans voted for him. That's pretty good, right? What did he do? Did he pull votes from Bush? If you took these, or maybe even just a chunk of them, like say maybe 15, break this 19 into 15 and 4, then who would have won? You get it? If you took out Perot and you give most of the votes that went to Perot to Bush, then he becomes president. Did Ross Perot cost George Herbert Walker Bush a second term in the White House? Huh. Oh, look what happened in 2000. Oh, by the way, what's the solution on this? If you have something like this, what do? You have a second election with a runoff, right? Look what happened in 2000. This is crazy. In 2000, the President of the United States was elected by 537 people in Florida. By 537 people in Florida. Whoever won Florida got a majority of Electoral College votes. It was so close that after 30 days of recounts and a lawsuit that went all the way to the Supreme Court, and they stopped the recounts, the difference between Bush and Gore, look at this. Look at Bush and Gore. That difference is 537 votes out of a country back then of probably 320 million people. How many people decided the president? 537 votes in Florida. Now, there was a third-party candidate for the Green Party named Ralph Nader. He's a very famous guy. Wrote a book called Unsafe at Any Speed, criticizing General Motors Corvairs cars. He got 97,421 votes in Florida. In Florida. Gee, who was this green liberal guy pulling votes from? Was he pulling votes from the Democrat or pulling votes from the Republican? Nader wrote a whole book. He wrote a whole book saying, no, I didn't cost Gore the election. Did he cost the election? All right. 2016, President Trump wins the presidency by winning the statewide popular votes and therefore the electoral votes of Michigan, Wisconsin, and Pennsylvania. These are the votes that Jill Stein, the Green Party candidate, got in each of these 3 states. Would these people, or most of them, have otherwise voted for Hillary Clinton? Well, you know what? Who knows? But there is a pretty good argument that the answer is yes, all right? So, did Green Party candidate Jill Stein cost Hillary Clinton the election? There is an argument, yes. Okay, so that was C. D is, what's her time? D. Reason D, or consequence D, from the winner of 48 out of 50 states allocating their electoral votes, winner take all. It creates swing states, right? This concept creates swing states because, look, you know, a swing state is a state that you can't win or a state that you can't lose, right? Look, how many big cities does California have? How many big cities does Texas have? How many big cities does New York and New Jersey and Pennsylvania have? Well, not Pennsylvania, that's a swing state. All right, check this out. Okay, so in 2012, after the National Party conventions, when the party nominee is secured, this was back when it was just Romney and Obama, right? Romney and Obama. These are the visits by the president or vice president after the political conventions in 2012. How many in Texas? 0. How many in California? 0. You guys, 1/4 of America, 25% of Americans live in these 4 states. 25% of Americans live in these 4 states. Look at this. New York, 0 visits. 40 visits. What are these? These are what? These are swing states. By the way, Iowa's got how many electoral votes? 6. California's got 55. And look at it. And they're spending all this time going to a state that has 6 electoral votes because it was a swing state. It could have been won or it could have been lost. All right? Ohio. No Republican has won the presidency of the United States without winning Ohio. Barack Obama won Ohio by 50.1%. 50.1% to 49.9%. Boy, swing state? Look at 26, oh, all right, so if you looked at America and you based the size of America, of states, on campaign visits, this is what it would look like. This is what it would look like. All right, 2016. Interesting. What were the swing states? Oh, by the way, guess who was starting to be treated like a swing state in 2016? What do you call it? His president rally. He did a big rally, right? Why did Trump come and do a big rally? Why did he do a big rally in 2016 when Romney never even bothered with Arizona? Because Romney knew he was going to win Arizona, and Trump was not sure he was going to win Arizona. All right, look at this, man. North Carolina, Pennsylvania, Ohio. Here is look at this. These three states are the ones that the Democrats lost, you know? And most of these were Republicans coming up here. A lot of people say Hillary Clinton screwed up by not spending enough time, particularly in Wisconsin. But here's the point. When you come to a state like Ohio, are you going to make promises that favor Ohioans? If you are in office as a president, are you going to make decisions that favor swing states over non-swing states? Well, do you want to get reelected? Do you want to get reelected? President Trump has been criticized for going to the Chinese and saying, hey, Chinese, would you please start buying agricultural products that you have put a tariff on? Would you please buy more of those from the swing states that vote for me? All right, here's what... all right, so look, 2/3 of the visits were in 6 states. 94% of them were in 12 states. This is what the map would look like if the states were sized by visits, campaign visits, post-convention. All right, here is the last one, A, B, C, D, E. Look, there are going to be wasted votes. Somebody is going to win and somebody is going to lose. And if you vote for the person that doesn't become president, then, well, your vote has been wasted. But here's what happens, okay? Look, in California, I'm sorry, look, are there Republicans in California? There are millions of Republicans in California. This was the vote total in California in 2012 between Romney and Obama, all right? Okay, so look, 4.2 million people voted for Romney in California, and what happened to those votes? Snuffed out, right? Snuffed out at the state level, not counted in the national vote. Same thing that happened in 2012. Romney won Arizona by 200,000 votes. These votes were wasted. These votes were wasted at the state level. These votes were wasted at the state level. All right, here's what happened in 2016. How many people voted for Clinton? Those were not calculated in the national total because the national total is irrelevant. All right, so those were also wasted. Okay. All right. My Ian people, go, regular government people, open up your Ian, go to slide 16. All right. My AP people, I want you to do this calculation. Alaska has 731,000 people living in it. They've got 1 member in Congress. How many electoral votes? Look back in your notes. Each state has electoral votes equal to its what and what. Alaska has how many electoral votes? California has 53 congressmen members of the House of Representatives? How many electoral votes does California have? Remember, Arizona has how many? Don't say 9. We've got 9 congressmen. We have 11 electoral votes, right? Arizona has 11 electoral votes. Why? We have 2 what? We have 9 congressmen and 2 what? All right? Okay, so take 39.5 million and divide it by 50 by your number of electoral votes, okay? Take 731 and divide it by your number of electoral votes. All right? Put them into a ratio. And what does that tell you? Put them into a ratio, and what does that tell you? Okay, do that calculation for me, and then we will review it in the next lesson. All right? Thank you.